This is another Wesley improvised story. Keep your motivations up, people, because that is what life is about. Now, this story is about a young boy. A young boy that has lived on his own for his entire life. He lived in a small house in a town with perhaps less than 50 people. All of them knew the boy. The boy, of course, was lonesome. That's why they called him the Lone Wanderer. That was his nickname. Even though the boy had no studies, he never learned anything from school because nobody paid for his school. He was on his own. He had no friends, no family. The first 7 years of his life, he lived with a terrible aunt that didn't take care of him, didn't love him at all. No, they never even looked at him, because they had 7 other children that got everything they wanted in life. But the Lone Wanderer got nothing. At the age of 7, however, he realized that he was being abused, used, and that they did not love him. They just merely provided him food sometimes, when they felt like it, of course. Because who was he? He was not their son. Because his parents died in a terrible accident just 2 years after he was born, so he couldn't remember anything. Just as one picture of his father and mother together. His mother had a very big belly at the time. It's because he was pregnant of him. Even though he did not understand the concept of pregnant, he did understand that these people were connected to him. He felt some strange thing, that he knew them. However, he had never seen them before. How could this be? A boy without education, capable of understanding the principle of family, love, and care. This aged boy, he wandered the streets and often got food from people that came by. They, of course, provided him with an apple or perhaps a juice for along the way. This went on for many years. The boy turned 15. Years went slow for this one, because the other boys and girls, after school, they'd go outside and they could play. But the Lone Wanderer, he couldn't play. Nobody wanted to play with him. Why would they? I mean, he has no mother, no father, no friends. He doesn't even have a house. He doesn't have toys. He's just a lifeless puppet, is what they said. However, this boy, he knew different. Deep inside, he felt something. Something that he could not explain himself. He couldn't even word it, because his vocabulary was so weak. He did not have any education. He learned everything from the streets. Talking to people sometimes, of course, but mostly laying under a bridge, finding shelter from rain or bandits. He had a sad life, and it went too slow. Other kids, they went to school, they play, and they go to bed. This boy wanders, sits all the time by himself, until someone wanders by, sits next to him for a few hours, talks to him, and then gives up and walks away. That is his life, and that is what it will be for the next years. And he knows it. But deep down he also knows there is strength inside him. There is purpose yet within him. Because this boy does not just wander. No. This boy is an actual hero. He helps people without demanding anything in return. Of course, he sees a lot of things happen on the street because he's continuously on them. He sees more than the patrol does, than the guards of the city do. City, well, town, but it still has a town hall. It still has people working in there, patrolling the town once every couple hours. But this boy, he knew everything. and he did everything to keep everyone happy. And he didn't even tell, he didn't brag. The things he did were minor and simple, but yet caring, and they existed purely out of love and purpose to show that he is also human. He loves and cares for one another, even though he does not know them. He knows what it's like to be hurt and alone, and that is why he helps others. Someone loses something, he'll retrieve it. A dog is about to drown, he'll jump in and save it. Water falls from a cart, he will donate his own just so the salesman won't be in trouble. And everybody just looks at him, thanks him, and walks off. And he is happy. He feels a warmness in his heart that nothing else provides. Nothing else gives off this much care for him than helping others, showing that you care for others. Of course, many years later, when he was 22, he decided it was time. He felt that the purpose in his heart had arisen again, and it was speaking to him, telling him to do something, but not what. However, following his heart, it eventually led him in the right direction. North, he found nothing, went back to the city where he felt safe, where he knew everyone, helped everyone, and he was finally loved. However, the purpose in his heart yet arose, and then he went east, and yet there was a bridge, a shallow bridge with a very deep ravine below. If you'd fall, you'd be dead in an instant. The raging waters down below, the rock sharp as a knife, standing feet tall, deadly. He was afraid to cross it. So, yet again, he returned. The journey again took a year, a whole year of not knowing, but he didn't care. As long as the purpose was beating in his heart, he knew he had to go on. He couldn't stop. In the city yet again, the people greeted him, welcomed him. Eventually, there was only 3 directions left. Of course, you'd say north, east, south and west. But there was also one more direction. The direction he knew was the right one. And that was the direction to stay, to not leave. So he did not. And slowly, this feeling in his heart, this urge to leave, died down. It was quiet for a while. He helped people again. He found his own cottage where he could live from the mayor that provided him with food this oftentimes. He was as a normal citizen. It took him much longer than everyone else, of course, but this man had done much more than everyone else. And yet, again, when he was 25, the feeling returned. On a simple day, when he was helping a couple of farmers move a stack of hay, he tripped, and surely something fell out of his pocket. It was a picture he had not seen for many years. He got it out of his pocket, and he teared up the instant he saw it. Who were they? They were his parents. The ones his aunt said would die. The old man, the farmer, helped him up, and suddenly he saw something. He looked at the farmer and said, "Do I know you?" The vocabulary he had now learned to understand. The farmer replied, "I don't think so, son. Well, I think you're mistaking me for someone else." The boy said, "Well, can you help me with something? You know, might sound a little strange, right? But, I mean, there is this photograph I have, and these are my parents. However, I have never seen them before. Do you perhaps recognize one of them? The old man looked at him and was shocked. He said, "Son, are you sure these are your parents?" The boy said, "I'm quite sure. It's the only picture I have, and everyone I know told me these were my parents." The farmer said, "Well, they left the city many years ago. A lot of trouble arose with them. They had done something that did not please the people, so they were banished from the town. They went south." That's all the farmer said. He gave him a couple of coins, which of course the lone wanderer refused, because he didn't take payment. He just did it to see smiles upon people's face. And he said, "Oh, thank you." Of course, the wanderer, he went as fast as he could. Not north, not east, not west, he went south, where the farmer said that his parents went. I mean, all of his life, lies were being told to him. He can't miss this opportunity. He has to find out who they are and why they left. He walked a month, 2 months, a couple cities by, every door. He spoke to every man, every woman he found, and no information whatsoever. Of course, in these times they didn't have phones. They had mail, but you had to know names and addresses, and it would take a couple of weeks for the mail to arrive, let alone for it to return to you. And if you had moved on, the mail might never reach you again. So, talking to the farmer again was a no-go. He decided he'd go on until the end of the world and back, and if he wouldn't have found them, he would walk the path again, because he didn't care how long it would take. He wanted answers. And so he wandered. The now adult man, once known as the Lone Wanderer, the boy that roamed the cities, was now a strong man, just searching for an elderly couple that he might presume as his parents. He didn't even know sure, because his aunt, of course, the abusive one, always lied. His faith, however, was strong. Within himself, he believed and trusted, and this feeling in his heart only got stronger with every step he takes. He walks on, his feet hurt, and he collapses to the ground. He lay there on the ground for at least a couple of hours. However, it seemed like days. While he was lying on the ground, he closed his eyes and he started dreaming. However, in his dream, it was nothing like he had ever experienced before. It wasn't about flying animals or structures that were magnificent and glorious, big, like in the books. It wasn't a castle. No, these were about the two people in the picture. And of course, surely, as the boy woke up, he saw a light shining right in front of his eyes. It sparkled him, shot at him. And from this light, he saw a face that seemed so familiar and so loved, and yet a complete stranger. This person, of course, was his father. He had not found his father, no. His father had happened to find him, and with the same purpose that the boy had. The father saw someone lying on the ground and decided he would help. And if your purpose is great, then you shall soon find your reward. Such will everyone else. Just show the good inside of yourself, and you will find good